Hello, my name is Sandra and welcome to my first ever podcast. Now, I have been, like probably everybody, I've been watching podcasts for a long time, watching them on YouTube and everything. And like now, I don't know if that everybody does that, but I've been basically starting to answer back. So I figured now is the time for me to do my own and to actually talk to somebody, and maybe somebody will listen, and then you can start answering me back and start your own. Really, what has inspired me was one conversation I had this weekend, which was with Emily Stamets, who is a coach, a personal coach, and also a knit designer. And we were talking about one of her designs, and all I could basically think of was to tell her as much as I could about all the stuff that I've been working on, because around me I don't have that many knitters that I can really share these things with. And then also I was watching one of the back catalogue of Babel's traveling yarn, Grace. I was watching actually her very first ever podcast episode today, and she had that kind of same sentiment of, I don't have that many friends that I can share this with, and podcasts are a wonderful way to be able to share what I do, and yeah, maybe somebody will actually watch it out there. So uh, for my plans for this podcast, I mean, things might change in the future, but what I would love to do is just to talk about what I've been knitting, and knitting, spinning as well. I'm kind of starting to get into that. Um, and yeah, just probably random thoughts. That's the shenanigans. Random thoughts, ramblings. And yeah, I hope somebody out there might listen. Now, you might notice my hair is wet today. My kids are out of the house, so I had to jump on that opportunity to record this before I lose the nerve and that opportunity passes by. So I had to do this, and my apologies for wet hair today. Next time I'll have dry hair. So yeah, who am I? My name is Sandra. I have been living in Ireland for the last 13 years, although I am originally from Germany. And really, I have been knitting for probably the last 10 years, but now in the last kind of 4 or 5 years, really a serious knitter. Before it was just one piece here and one piece there, but now it's, you almost never find me without my needles. Um, yeah, that's it about me. I mean, if you have more questions, let me know. I'm sure I'll be telling more about me coming up. But what have I been working on? So really, I had lost my knitting mojo for a long time, and then I changed my job recently, and slowly but surely my knitting mojo is coming back. And this is actually the first thing that came back, that my knitting mojo came back with. So you can see here, this is actually worked in a really very, very thick yarn. So I don't even know if would be considered super chunky. But yeah, so this is a hat that has herringbone pattern all over. It's my own design that maybe someday I'll actually write up and publish. It is actually, what I found very interesting about this is that there's two really different needle sizes. So the bit down here is worked in a size 8 needle, and then the bit down up here is actually worked in a size 12. Yet it really comes out, and I mean, it is so incredibly warm. So the herringbone pattern is a very, very solid pattern, or very solid fabric that comes out of it at the end. And yeah, I mean, it is so wonderfully warm. It's, in case we do get any snow this year, this is going to be the hat that I'll be wearing. And yeah, I have much more of that same kind of fiber yarn. I have it in different colors, in this green, tealy green, and then also in this kind of variegated gray, but it's kind of like a natural gray. So there's all these different kind of variations of gray in it. And so this is all lana grossa, ragazzale. And this yarn is one of the very, very first yarns that I've ever worked with. And so this skein has been in my stash for years at this stage. I don't even know how many years ago, but it must be 10 years ago at this stage that I bought this, and I actually knitted, I made myself a wonderful, super cozy poncho with it, just exactly in this color. This is a leftover from then. But yeah, then the poncho, I wore it for the first winter, and then I wasn't interested in the poncho anymore. That feels really weird saying, but yeah, it was just sitting in my wardrobe, and it was just never worn. So that's when I then decided to actually frog it. And yeah, I'm still using kind of the bits of wool. I mean, this is actually made with some of the leftover yarn from the poncho. So it's getting a second life now, and that I kind of like that reclaiming it and making it into something that I'll actually wear. So yeah, so this was my Knitting Mojo returner. And now for the one that actually, well, killed it, not quite killed it, but that made it go away for a while, and that is this wonderful, gorgeous cowl pattern. It's a pattern that I have, that's been playing around in my mind for a long time. It's with a yarn that I bought when I was in Germany last year for my summer holidays, and it's called Drachenwolle, which is dragon wool. Now I can't remember the actual colorways, but it's a lace weight, so it's super cozy. It's 100% merino. But yeah, this cowl pattern. Now this is the first sample that I made, and then I made a second sample in the same color with a much smaller size needle, and I'm still not quite, it's not quite, because it's so flowy, it keeps kind of turning over, so I'm not quite happy with the pattern yet. So I am now, once I have my energy back properly and I want to face this again, I'm going to actually make this, but with half the stitches. Well, maybe a bit more than just half, but so that it actually will sit closer to the neck, stand up a bit more, and then I think it's going to be gorgeous. I mean, I love it. I love the pattern, and yeah, it's just really, it's broken me. It just didn't want to work, and it just, even though it feels so nice, it never quite worked the way I wanted it to work. But it will. I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will. So yeah, that's my cowl. I love this. This is the thinnest yarn I've ever worked with. So, and it's the smallest needles. I didn't even, so the second sample was worked in a 2.5 millimeter. Smallest needles I've ever bought. I actually had to buy the needles for that to make that sample, because I just don't own that small a needle. So I mean, yeah, I work with pretty much any yarn in any weight, but it's that small, never worked with before, so it was a bit of something new to learn for me. Now, what else have I been doing? Oh yeah, I can show you this here. So this is actually something that I have just started yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. And I finished one already. Now, this is a slipper, and I know it's black yarn, so it's terrible to see, but it's a slipper, and the pattern is Mine. That's the name of the pattern. And I can't remember who it's from, but I'll put it in the notes. But yeah, it's a wonderful, it has a cable here at the top. Don't look at my mistake, but there's a cable here at the top. I am working this in a black yarn that I actually got as a Christmas present from my sister last year. And yeah, the grey is, again, it's the same grey that I'll be working the hat in. I have a lot of leftovers of that. So yeah, I only had 3 skeins of this one, which will be just about enough to work the top of it. And then yeah, the bottom of it is in like this wonderful, gorgeously, it's super soft and silky wool. Well, it's not silky, but it's super soft. This wool here. So I'm going to finish these up, and then I'll see if they fit me, they'll be mine. If they don't, they might become a Christmas present this year. I am in the middle of working the second one at the moment, and here the cable is actually correct. I'm not sure if you can see it here. Oh, but yeah, the cable here is actually the way it's meant to be. But yeah, this is work in progress. I will hopefully finish this tonight because these are so fast. So yeah, that's what I am working on right now. What else is on my needles? Oh yes, because I am terrible at working at one thing at a time. Absolutely terrible at it. I have to have like a couple of different projects on the go at a time. So this, I'm repurposing one of my kids' old lunchbox, or never used lunchbox, and I'm repurposing it. And I know it's the zip. You have to be a little careful, but you know, you might as well use it if it's in the house, and I can fill it with knitting all the time. Now this is another project bag that I have. What am I working on here? I just love these colors. Look at that. Oh, and I'm dropping everything over here. But look at this. So this is going to be a hat, and there is 2 yarns in this. There's this one here, which is a DK, and it is a hand dyed by, and now I've of course forgotten her name. A lovely hand dyer here in Cork, or here in Ireland, in Cork. And I have to put her name up in the comments. I'm sorry, I've forgotten your name right now. And then there is this darker color here, and I have absolutely no idea what that yarn is. It's just been sitting in my stash, but it's kind of this dark teal, and so the pattern is something that, again, I'm writing up by myself. And yeah, I've just, been playing around with this. It's been, flying off the needle so far, so I'll keep you posted how this one goes. You'll be seeing more of this, hopefully. And then in that same bag, I have 2 more projects, because again, I always have tons on the go at the same time. This one, now let's see, I'm in the middle of a row here, so let's see how I can show you this gorgeousness. Now the yarn is absolutely stunning, and the pattern is not quite what I had hoped yet, but I have a feeling this is going to be frogged. So as you can see here, lovely greeny bluey shades in here. I have the ball here as well. Look at that gorgeousness, the blues, the greens. Yeah, that does it justice as well, that light. Now this is a merino and silk blend, hand dyed by Eve Chambers Textiles from Cork, or from County Cork. So I got this at Woolen this year, and I'm in love with it. And I've been looking for a project to do it justice, and I thought this was going to be this lace shawl, like a rectangle lace shawl, and it looked very nice, but then I don't know, I'm not feeling it yet. I'll have to see. if I'll start feeling it or if I won't. I might work it, might do a little bit more to see how much I get into it. And yeah. I mean, the yarn is just gorgeous. I was working on this yesterday in the cinema. I took my 2 oldest daughters to the cinema and I was knitting this, and I'll actually have to check whether I did things right. But I know so far it looks like I followed the pattern correctly yesterday in the dark. Yeah, not bad. And then there's one more in the same project bag. I'll have to actually split these into separate project bags, but I'll do that another time. There is one more thing in this wonderful project bag, and that is a very, I only just started this because again I didn't have enough projects on the go yet, and this is probably taken the place of the cowl as the thinnest yarn I've ever worked with. This is, again, it's a lace weight, and this is meant to be, or is going to be, hand warmers or mitts for my grandmother. And they're probably, or the pattern is quite lacy, quite, airy, because that's kind of what she was looking for. She wasn't looking for something really warm, but more just for something that she could put on anytime and that would keep her her hands covered. And yeah, so I'm working on this, and this is, I mean, it is the most gorgeous ball of yarn. It is so delicate. I can tell you now the name of the yarn in a moment as well, because I have it here. It's called Monica Design Yarns Cuzco, and is going to be 100% alpaca. So even if it's very lacy, this probably won't come out right, but even if it's very lacy, it will still keep her nice and warm, or at least give some warmth. Hopefully I'll finish this in time for a Christmas present. It was intended to be a Christmas present. Bought the yarn in October. Yeah, better get on that. Better get that one knitted. Although, my brain is already saying, but there's so many nice, there's so many nice patterns out there. Do you not want to change your pattern? Do you not want to do another one? Oh, you should really try 2 at a time, because I'm sure you can do 2 at a time for mitts as well. But, maybe it's just better that I get it done and not change the pattern again and again and again. But yeah, so this is, that's the craziness. That is my knitting projects at the moment. As you can see, tons on the go at the same time. But yeah, get used to it, because that's just me. Oh, this shawl is falling down. Yeah, that's just me. I can never be a monogamous knitter. I just have to have, and today I don't feel like working on that hat. I'll jump to the the shawl, jump back to the hat, jump back to something else. And the different size yarns as well, they're very nice, that you can switch back and forth. Your hands don't get that tired. And then when I just don't feel like knitting at all, which happens every now and then I start the spinning. Because again, Eve, it's your fault. Eve Chambers, she had this gorgeousness at her stand at Woolen this year. Look at this. Just look at it. It looks like cotton candy. It absolutely, to me, like my daughter as well, she looked at it and went, that's cotton candy. Look at that gorgeousness. And I could not walk away. So I bought this, and I got the drop spindle, and now I am working with this. And so this is the second half of it. I've already split this in half. And yeah, so this is there was another I bought another, I don't even know what you call this, another one of these in different colour. And I spun that up, and actually the first part of it resulted in this, which I'm actually pretty happy with. That was kind of the first half of it, I think. And then the second half, I spun it up, and then I tried to ply it, and it just won't work. It just won't work. I've tried plying it a couple of times now, and just, nope, does not want to be plied. So yeah, I'm hoping I'm a bit luckier with this. I must have done something wrong with the other one. It's lying over there in the naughty corner. I can't figure it out, and one day I will. But in the meantime, I'm spinning this gorgeousness. So all the blue I've already done. So I'm now in that kind of transition-y period in the middle. And I'm sure I'm probably doing everything wrong that you can be doing wrong in spinning. But it's working so far. So I'm hoping. And what I did was I went to This Is Knit in earlier this month. Oh, last month. It's December now, isn't it? I went there last month and I bought a second one, because I figured that might be easier when I'm plying them together rather than trying, because I think that's the mistake I made. I spun it onto the spindle, then tried to wind it onto something else, and then try to ply. Yeah. So I bought this, have a second one, and can do the second one with that. But I mean, it's just, I'm really happy with this. I don't know if I'm doing it right, but I'm really, really happy with this. So yeah, that's what I've been doing while I was watching the Late Late Toy Show with my daughter yesterday. We only watched it on Saturday. That was a big drama here that I didn't watch it with her on Friday. But we watched it Saturday evening instead. And yeah, I was spinning away, and not all of that just during the toy show. But now, is it crazy? If that's all the spinning you've ever done, is it crazy to want a spinning wheel? I mean, I know Christmas is coming up, but then spinning wheels, that's quite an investment. I might have to mention it, hint at it to my husband and see if he has any idea what it is, and if he wants to. Nah, he's not going to get that for me, but maybe next year. If I spin some more and we can actually see that it's worth it, then maybe next year. Now, that is, can you believe it? That's all the projects that I'm working on at the moment. Yeah, I know. I seriously have to work on not having that many projects on the go at the same time. And yeah. Anyway, I am very glad that I've actually done this. I've actually recorded a podcast, and no, I hope the audio and all of that actually comes through, because I'm not recording this again. Yeah, and I'll try to put up another one. Okay? Bye.